As you can tell by our blue filter, we just watched a Facebook movie. The newest movie in the web search genre, Missing. So Aiden, what's the plot of Missing?
In Missing, a little girl's, well, not little, she's in like high school. The high school girl's mother goes missing on her trip to Brazil or Colombia with her boyfriend. And the girl from her computer attempts to solve the mystery of what happened to her. And there's a lot of twists and turns and stuff. Connor, what'd you think of Missing?
I thought Missing was alright. Wasn't great. It's the best thing I've seen in this. I guess this is a thriller in the subgenre of
Web
life movies. Most of them have previously been like horror movies. I know this is by the guys who worked on Searching, which is another presumably thriller. I don't really know.
It's pretty much the same like mystery thriller thing from what I've understood.
Right. It's like a mystery thriller set entirely on this girl's laptop, which would be an interesting gimmick had it not already been done to death. It's kind of like a quick way to age the movie because like operating systems change fast,
Apps go in and out of style.
Apps go in and out of style. But you know, for what it was decent. The mystery was somewhat engaging, and the twists and turns were fairly logical and interesting. There was a well enough setup and payoff to each mystery that made it, at the end, somewhat unexpected, but still, you know, I mean, it's not like a Hitchcock thriller, but it's still good enough at least. But like I said, this genre gets dated fast, and at this point, the gimmick's kind of worn thin. Like, we've been seeing these movies since like 2015, but they just keep happening every couple of years, and it's like, well, it's cheap to make, and at least like an engaging mystery. It's not like Unfriended, which wanted to be like Paranormal Activity on Facebook.
Yeah, Unfriended was
severely
super
dumb.
cheap fucking Paranormal Activity, and it was just like you'd watch someone through their webcam and they'd get attacked by ghosts.
Right. This movie had decent writing at its core, which made the movie fairly watchable, unlike some of these, where this had decent enough writing that made it watchable, whereas something like Unfriended was the dumbest script some asshole wrote up in an hour and then decided to slap a cheap gimmick on and call it good enough. This movie actually bothered to create something of a cohesive plot around the gimmick. So while it's gimmicky and going to be dated pretty fast, it was alright. So Aiden, what did you think of Missing?
It's good. It's a little too long. I kind of felt the length at times.
Right.
But it's a nice mystery thriller. It unravels nicely. They do a good job of like actually making a use of the gimmick. Like Unfriended is just a crappy Paranormal Activity movie with a gimmick, but here like the mystery is solved in creative ways using the formats. Whether that's looking at like tourist camera footage or map data and other things to, you know, trace back the steps and solve it, which I think makes it a lot stronger than anything else I've seen in this genre, beyond that it's just like a pretty decent mystery.
Yeah, it actually used web exploration in clever ways, unlike Unfriended, which is just like, but Cynthia's dead, how did she message me on Facebook?
Yeah, pretty much. My biggest gripe is it gets a little long. And the mystery kind of just ends up solving itself a couple times. Like, in the middle of the movie, she figures out where her mom is, kind of. And then, she, like, in the same scene, she gets a call from the FBI, and they're like, oh, we also figured out where your mom is. And it makes everything feel a little inconsequential, and then at the end, the villain just shows up to the house and kidnaps her. Which again, like right as she's about to solve the mystery, it kind of just solves itself.
Right.
Which makes it feel a little inconsequential, but I still think it's a pretty decently told story. It makes creative uses of its gimmick. Definitely the best I've seen in this genre. People seem to like the first one better, Searching, which is like a semi-prequel to this one. Or, well, by the same people, different characters and premise, but a similar movie. But yeah, it's decent, it's good. I really liked, they did interesting things with the editing, which was another thing where, like, there was actually, like, motion despite it all being on a screen. And the story was told through switching apps and other things when Unfriended was just 4 static cameras in a room. And it was pretty like cleanly edited and put together. And yeah, it's a nice little mystery story with a gimmick that's utilized well, even if it's still a gimmick. Pretty good. Connor, would you recommend Missing?
For January movies, if you're looking for a thriller, I would recommend it. You know, it's a gimmicky thriller, but it's also January, so right now is the time of gimmick movies. You know, we have Megan, we have Missing,
Norm of the North 8.
Norm of the North 8. It's January, baby. We're getting the gimmicks out of the way. 80 for Brady is a February movie, but January, February.
Might as well
gimmick
be.
ones.
Might as well be a January movie.
Yeah, it's fucking January, bro. Of course, sure. For January, if you're going out to the theater and want to blow some money on a movie, your options are pretty slim unless you want to watch Avatar: The Way of the Water again. So why not check out Missing instead? But if it was like fucking June or something when movies are actually out, I'd say no. So hey, would you recommend Missing?
Yeah, I'll give it a recommend. I think it's good. It's interesting. Plays out unexpectedly. I think most people will enjoy it even if it's a little long. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it.